And
What's
we
up,
are live.
man? Oh, you could start if you want to. If
No,
you,
it's up to you. I thought you were setting it up.
no. Go ahead, go ahead.
All right, we are live. It is our final episode of the MMA Outsiders on playback, not the final episode of the show. But Thursday night, little dark out, Chicago, snowy, cold. How you feeling for the last fight night of the year, last event of the year for the UFC?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. I mean, it's been a good year. It's been a productive year. It's been one of those years where I think I may be in the minority. Maybe you agree, but I think our good old pal, the three letters over there. I think they've gotten a little bit too much criticism this year. When I actually think most of the events have been pretty good. And no, I'm not saying it because the
They're gonna come
UFC.
after you for this one.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Twitter already thinks you kiss up for the UFC. They're gonna come after you if you say this on there.
Well, I mean, hey, given that it's the number one MMA promotion I follow, I can't really be 100% negative towards them. There are people who I'd rather not mention, but I don't know. I just think people need to give the promotion credit where credit is due when the promotion is doing well. That's my point, and I think there's a lot of exciting things coming up. And even though we were kind of crapping on it the other day with having none of the champions having defended their titles yet. And I think it opens up a new door for the sport that maybe at the beginning of 2024 we wouldn't have initially anticipated. So I think a lot of this stuff is actually good. Well, I don't mean to be that guy, and I don't mean to be extremely positive, but I think assuming that Saturday's event, UFC Vegas 112, which we'll get to in just a second, goes well, I think there's a lot of reason to be excited.
I agree. And listen, I'm not trying to be that guy either. I love the UFC. I'm through and through a UFC guy. But looking at 2025 compared to 2024, 2025 was way better.
I,
Way
I would
better.
I would agree.
You like
I would agree.
people forget. They were like goldfish. Everybody's like, "Oh, we had it so good or we had it so bad." No. If you don't like people forget, man. 2024, there was like an 8-month stretch where we had new gloves and we had no KOs, basically.
And the quality of the cards were just whatever. Like there were a lot of cards in 2024 where, like, if you were to ask me about them, like I would genuinely say, like, I forgot about that one. I don't remember that one. Like 2025, it didn't feel like that as much. But again, I could be wrong in saying it. I just think with everything that's going on right now, with all the upward momentum, I think there's a lot more good going into 2026 than there is bad, and that's kind of what I was trying to get at.
No, I agree. It's just like we had a good year. We had a very good year. We had a lot of great fights, and we'll be getting into some of our favorites in the later weeks here. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna be a little bummed. 7 weeks or 6 weeks, no UFC. I'm gonna be slamming my head against the wall.
Yeah, it'll be 6 weeks if I have my math correct there. So it's going to be a little bit of a break if you're a diehard UFC fan. There is some combat sports to hold you over. There's not a ton, but there are some that I guess are worth noting. But yeah, it's going to start to get a little bit quieter. But hey, as someone like me who's a football junkie who needs 5 weeks off to solely focus on football, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about that. I can't complain. And hey, we're wearing it must be good vibes today, Jack, because we're wearing matching colors. I haven't displayed it yet, but I'm also wearing Illinois as well.
Oh no,
You're wearing
this is in Illinois, Zanbando. This is where I was gonna go. The
oh
Lane
man.
Griffinless Ole Miss.
Really? That's where you were going to go in a past life. I didn't
I
know
was,
that.
yeah, no, 2020 high school graduate. COVID screwed some things up, but I was an Ole Miss hottie toddy commit. And then 2 weeks beforehand, I decided let's chill on that and save some money.
Really? That's one that I never knew about you. Pretty much when I knew that I was committing to Illinois in 2017 for the 2018 school year, I knew that that's where I was going. So it's very I did not know that about you, that you were this close to being an Ole Miss student, and then potentially, I would assume, I don't think you would have transferred had you gone there. So I would assume you probably would have been an alumnus, right?
I would have, yeah, no. So like short tangent, basically 2 weeks before I was about to move down there, had an apartment, had roommates, everything. We get an email. If you get COVID on campus, we have to send you home for 10 weeks.
Wow, which is essentially, for those of you who maybe are listening internationally and don't even understand what he just said, 10 weeks is basically the entire semester.
It
And
would have
then,
been a 16
and
week
then,
semester. So it would have been more than half.
right, right.
So with that and how expensive the schools are, you know it. All these big Power Five schools, they bring in the
Yeah.
money, baby. So
I don't remember. Well, to be transparent, my COVID year, the main COVID year was my junior year, and that has its own publicized story. But in a nutshell, I stayed home for that one semester my junior year, and then I went back in the spring. Point being is that they didn't have that per se, where they were going to send you home for 10 weeks, but it was one of those where you had to be in full isolation if you were on campus for at least 2 weeks if you caught it. So
yeah, and with being where I went to high school in the district I did, we had a great program with our community college that if we basically had a C average and didn't miss school, you could go for free. So I went for a year in person, moved to Madison, Wisconsin, went for a year online, moved to Oshkosh, Wisconsin, enrolled in UW Oshkosh, and now I'm a Titan grad, baby. Go
so
Titans.
would you say you're also an adapted Wisconsin Badgers fan or no?
I would say
Because if I had taken your path, I would have fully adopted Wisconsin as my unofficial college team. If that was me, but yeah.
see, I felt like I didn't have a dog in the race, like I feel like my friends, so the majority of my friends either went to the University of Illinois or the University of Indiana. So whenever those two teams are doing well, I'm happy because my friends are happy. They care a lot more about this. All my friends are college football fans the way I'm a UFC guy.
So, including me, it just happens to be that I like the UFC in the same way that I like college football and
You're
basketball too.
just you're just a dual threat.
No, I try, man. So, speaking of that, that's a perfect segue. Let's talk about some fights. It's the final swan song in the UFC Apex for 2025. I can't believe I'm even saying this because it looked as if 7, 8 months ago we thought we had seen the death of the UFC Apex, and then all of a sudden it rose from the ashes. It's back and better than ever, and it'll be even, it seems like, more consistent under the Paramount deal, which is the contrary to what was reported 6 months ago that they were going to use it a fewer amount of times. This is I don't know if you find this development as stunning as me, but I just think it's very weird how quickly things can change when it comes to the UFC's venue priorities, if you will. So
Try quick note on that. I totally understand it. Not that I'm saying I like it, but I think the lack of overhead it costs to host a UFC event is you make more than the amount you make with going to a city, depending on where you go. So I
very
think
well said. And
financially,
as someone and I'm not trying to, I promise, I'm not trying to toot their horn, but I have to give them credit. As someone who's been to the Apex for a UFC fight night in person, it is one of the most intimate experiences you will ever encounter. Like I I don't remember where I rank UFC Vegas 98 and out of the 14 UFCs I've attended, but it's certainly up there as one of those events that I won't forget because of how intimate it was.
I was gonna say like maybe it's not the most name value on the card, but for sure, if you are able to go to an Apex card, it's got to be one of a kind. Like it's super memorable. It's got to feel like Fight Club. You show up to a warehouse. Now I've driven past the Apex a ton, but you show up to a fancy warehouse.
Yeah, I mean, literally, dude, it did feel like Fight Club. Like, I'll just briefly go through the synopsis. Like, I walk in there, it's October 2024. Everybody is, because that weekend there was there was a Justin Bieber concert that weekend. The Steelers were playing Vegas at Allegiant Stadium, and then there was the UFC Apex event, which maybe 2,000 people showed up for, and I guess I'll just say this: all 2,000 people, maybe minus myself, had to purchase the VIP experience because that's the only way you can get in. But
which is
when I tell
$1,250 a pop.
no, I'm aware. I'm aware. I, 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 I went in through different means. None of which I'm going to disclose on here. But let's just say this: I went to the
San
event.
Bando runs the Las Vegas crime syndicate. Y'all just don't know.
No, no. So I walk in there and I just gotta I mean, I'll just say it because now that we're on this discussion before we actually preview the event itself, like you walk in there and it's just like everything is perfectly set up. You just go to this check-in booth, you give them your name, and then they tell you where you go. And then essentially it's like whatever you need, like you can come back here. When I mean by back here, there's this literally this VIP room that you who can go into. So you have your seat, obviously, but you also have a VIP room to where you can go and sit in your version of the back, if you will, at any point. People will walk through there.
Unlimited drinks, unlimited
Yeah,
food.
that's literally what it was. Yeah.
Like
So
the 1250 price tag, if you go and you're like, if you were gonna go to T-Mobile for good seats, brother, you can make it worth it. Like, let's say a drink at T-Mobile, a mixed drink at T-Mobile is $25 a pop.
but this is what I'm saying. You pay one fee and you get everything included.
That's what I'm saying. You go hungry and you go thirsty, and if you can drink and eat your weight in food, and you get a ringside ticket, the ticket's worth it. It pays for
Yeah,
it.
and what I think is what I thought was even more worth the what I thought was even more worth it too was I don't know how you get this because I don't think it's public, but there was at least one person that had a full recliner couch where they literally sat in the front row of the Apex and watched the fights in the recliner couch. It was unbelievable.
That's
And
awesome.
I was sitting, just to give you further context, I was two sections behind where Hunter and Dana typically sit.
Very cool. So you
And
had
then,
some good
and then,
seats.
and then behind me was the Vanderbilt baseball team, and they were awesome. So I got to meet all those guys. They were in Vegas for a
Couple future MLBers on that team.
yeah, so that was pretty cool. A bunch of them followed me on Instagram. A bunch of them I actually still talk to, which is pretty cool. They were good. They were good guys though. So pretty much my sales pitch to any of you listening: if you can realistically go to Vegas for an Apex fight, do it.
It's worth
You got to do it. And the coolest part, and this is the nerd in me because I like collecting memorabilia and stuff like that to have the only place to get the signed autographed poster
for
from every
50
single
bucks.
fighter be physically at the event was the cool was the coolest part.
And you could do the random ones for $50 a pop.
Yeah, that's what I did too. But the cool thing was I actually did it the day before at UFC headquarters. They had a few laying around, and they're like, Zan, do you want to do your own random set? I'm like, sure. But they gave me whatever, and the coolest pull that I got was Per Prohaska from UFC 303. Yeah, that's and by the way, no one can have one. In case anybody's wondering, I'm keeping that one.
I'm
So
when I come over Saturday, I'm gonna take it. It's mine now.
what? No way.
I,
But I'm sure that there are
I touch the poster and I start getting electrocuted.
no way. But anyway, either we're diverting a little bit. Let's talk about some fights now. What do we have in this card? 13 or 14 fights?
We got 13 fights on this card. And what Vegas number is this?
Vegas 112.
112. Well, starting off UFC Apex 112, we got Teresa Bleda coming off almost a 2-year layoff, taking on Jamie Lynn Horth. Bleda is 7-1. Jamie Lynn Horth is 8-2.
Wait, Jack, I have a very dumb question. What placement is the King Green Lance Gibson fight? I'm just
So,
curious.
according to Tapology, It is going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is going to be the opener of the 6 fight main card.
Oh, okay. That is an easy fix then, because the opener that I had was the Buchecha fight. Okay, good to know.
That's the next fight because I believe this is a 6 fight main card. So it's going
Okay,
to go King Green Gibson, then Buchecha, then Costa, Almeida, Chikadze, Royval, that kind of deal.
got you. Okay, so I assume the featured prelim is still Lemos versus Robertson.
Yes, correct.
Okay, cool. All
All right.
right, so with this first fight, I see decision written all over it, and I just think that there's not a big enough sample size on Bladis, so I have Lynn Horth. What about you?
I've got Blada. See, I think her one loss, it was against Natalia Silva, and I think
Yeah,
Natalia
and that's
Silva,
not, and that's obviously not easy, as we both know. So
she's one of the best fighters in the world. And she came back from that loss and beat Gabrielle Fernandez by decision, who beat Wong Kang. So I think with a 2-year layoff, she's young. I think she's going to be able to get the decision against Jamie Lynn Horth. I want to see what her odds are on FanDuel. Hey, we got no sponsor now. I can say these names.
yes, you can, and you can also use Tapology odds too, my guy. You know that.
I know, but they changed. Those are a little outdated. So right now, Teresa Bleda is sitting at minus 166.
That's not terrible. I thought it'd be a little bit more than that.
Yeah, no, not bad at all. Here, let me pull up. I'm actually going to share my screen here. Let me do that.
You should. That'll make it a lot easier.
Boom, boom. Next up, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Perfect. We've got the former Contender Series bout, now not Contender Series bout, main UFC roster, Alan Fry versus Guilherme Pat. Guilherme Pat, big prospect from Brazil, and he's sitting at minus 184, 190. Alan Fry sitting at like plus 150, plus 140 area right now. And I see a lot of people taking Alan Fry. I think Guilherme Pat, like even though he's been to
I
decisions, gone to third
and,
rounds, I'm taking him.
and I don't know. Oh, by the way, shout out Vinny in here. Just gave us a shout. That's very very nice of him. Shout out
What
to the guys
up?
from Combat Sports today. Hope you're doing well. Continue with what you were saying.
No, I think a lot of people are taking Alan Fry because he's had like better competition, and
Right.
he's fought. If I'm not mistaken, he's fought a contender or a tough guy. He fought. Was it Ryan Shook or Justin Frazier? I have no idea.
No, that neither of those guys sound like Ultimate Fighter guys. Oh, wait a minute. Unless
Well,
he
Justin,
did compete on the
yeah.
Ultimate Fighter. Hang on a second. What year would have that been? I
So
wouldn't.
that was 2018. He lost to Juan Espino.
What? I don't remember that whatsoever. Okay. Okay.
Very interesting. But
You
he
have to
just lost to
understand.
Guilherme Pat or Alan
You have to
Fry first round.
understand. This
Yeah.
is. You have to understand. I don't think you were following at this point, but you have to understand. In 2017 and 18, dude, this is when the Ultimate Fighter just became so watered down that no one really cares. That's one of those fights that I probably just completely forgot about. So
Well, Juan Espino, the GOAT.
yes,
Uh,
sir.
but who are you taking? Alan Fry or Guillermo Pat?
I got Pat.
Me too. Next up, we've got Luana Santos taking on Melissa Croden. I'm torn on this fight, man, because
I'm
Melissa looked
torn too
good.
because I don't know what Cronin you're gonna get. She's very very shaky sometimes.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know,
saying. Listen. I think I'm going to take Luana Santos here to win the first 2 rounds. Croden comes back and wins round 3.
but Santos wins a decision though.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Oh, but by the way, what are you taking Pat to win by? I'm curious.
Oh, I think KO, right? Like, yeah, I would think KO.
KO in what round though?
One or two. Oh, come on now. There we go. 1 or 2.
All right.
Jeez, my screen is spazzing. I apologize, people. Making you
No,
motion
no,
sick.
no. You're good. You're good.
I want to see with this Guillermo Pat Alan Fry fight. Okay. See, 66% are taking Alan Fry. Very interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Again, I just don't think his level of competition has been up to par as opposed to what Pat's had to endure. I really don't. I don't
See,
know.
I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a weird one for sure.
Mm-hmm. You got
But
your guy. You got your guy up next.
I know next up we've got Sean Sharaf taking on heavy favorite Stephen Asplund. Now, give me the minus 250 Stephen Concrete Asplund. My boy's getting the job done.
In what round? In what round, sir?
Round 2. I think this one's not going to be like an immediate.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And how quick do you think he'll win? Like in round two specifically.
I think it'll be like 4 minutes in. Like I think this one's gonna get grimy, and I think Sean Sharaf is good, but I think Stephen Asplund is better. I think he trains with a better Sean Sharaf every day and Thomas Peterson.
That is very well said, and Thomas Peterson is highly underrated. So I will give you that.
Who's your pick?
I got Asplund, but I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna go a little more bold. I think he wins in the first round.
I
So
like it.
and I gotta say, I think this is hilarious that the next fight we're gonna talk about is Yaroslav Amosov's UFC debut, and I think it's even funnier that he was slated to fight in Chicago on a regional show back in the
It just
spring.
fell apart randomly.
Yeah, and now he's in, and
The
now he's
fight,
in,
the fight happened. It was always supposed to be against Curtis Millender, but it moved to a Fury card
I know moved to a Fury card in Philly at the last minute.
or a Cage Fury card.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Which, by the way, I was planning to go to that before they canceled it. I'm like, I'll go. I'll make
I
it.
was thinking the same thing. I was like, if Amazon was fighting, I'd go.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously he's fighting a veteran in Neil Magny. This is as gatekeeper of a fight as you could get. Would you agree? Would you agree with that?
For sure. And I think this one's it puts Yaroslav in an interesting place because I think
I mean, does the UFC not trust him to beat someone of like you would think, given his resume and given what he did in Bellator, that he'd get a bigger step up for his first UFC fight. Wouldn't you agree? Like,
I don't trust him to beat Neil Magny. I'm nervous for him.
interesting. Okay.
Like I think here's the thing. I think this works to his advantage, and I also think it works to his detriment.
All right.
He's not necessarily the most dangerous guy. He doesn't wow you in any way. He's just a well-rounded guy who wins fights by decision or eventually subbing people. Like
Right.
I want to see what his wins are. Like I guess he's like all pretty much all over, but his later fights for sure. If you look at his best wins, starting here, decision, Darce, decision, cut, decision. You know what I mean? So it's like all of those decisions came once he started, like he leveled up a little bit. And I think Neil Magny is the type of guy to do the exact same thing. However, dude, Yaroslav Amosov, it says minus 330. He's minus 430. And but I'm gonna pick him. I'm gonna have a little bit of money on Neil Magny, but I think Yaroslav can beat Neil Magny.
I think so too, but it's one of those where if either of us are wrong, I'd be surprised. How do you think he wins? Do you think it's going to be by decision, or do you think he
I,
finishes it?
I think it's a decision.
Okay.
Next up, we're going with Joe Anderson Brito versus Isaac Thompson. I like Isaac Thompson. I like following him from LFA. He is like his odds aren't even on FanDuel yet. His odds aren't on Tapology. I think Brito will probably end up being probably a minus 5 to 600. but I'm going to take Joey Anderson Brito to get the job done.
And what happened to Melzik? Was he injured or what exactly happened there?
That is a good question. Bagdasarian withdrew. So I guess he got injured or a visa problem or
Okay.
something like that.
Are you taking Brito or are you taking Thompson?
Oh, I'm taking Brito.
Okay. By what?
Probably finish. I don't know by what or what round, but like maybe sub. Could be a knockout. Like I don't know. Thompson's a big guy though, so we'll see.
Yeah, I like Brito too, but this is one of those ones where I'm iffy because he has all that LFA momentum working in his favor. So, and he's someone who the guys like you, I think I'm not out in the know, but I feel like you and a few other people would know more about him than I would. So I'm
He's
excited.
good.
I'm excited to see him because I've never watched him before. So
He's good. I just think this is a tough first matchup. I think he'll do well in the UFC.
So you think this might be one of like his few losses that he actually has? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I could compare him to like a better. I don't even want to say that because that's disrespectful, but like I think he'll just be like a fixture of 45 for a couple years.
But will he ever break into the top 10 or probably not?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But next up, we got to start getting through a couple of these a little quicker because there's a couple of these I do want to talk about more. But quick
Sure.
picks: Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson. I think this one's pretty cut and dry. If it stays on the feet, Amanda Lemos is going to piece her up. If it goes to the ground, Jillian Robertson is going to do well. Jillian Robertson is up to minus 200. Lemos plus 160. Who you taking?
Well, I think that line is disrespectful on Lemos, so I'm gonna actually take her by finish. What about you?
See, I was thinking the same thing, but I'll take Robertson.
Okay. Any particular brief reason before we move on?
The
I'm just
grappler.
curious. Okay, fair enough.
Next up, a fight I do want to talk about because a guy I think you are familiar with. We got Bobby King Green versus Lance Gibson on 10 days' notice here. And Lance Gibson, interesting Bellator signing very soon. They want Canadians. But the one time he fought really good comp, he got jabbed and knocked out. So Bobby Green being his first opponent is very interesting to me. I'm going with Bobby Green. Let's see the betting odds on this one. They aren't available.
I like Green too. I think asking a guy on 10 days' notice to beat a veteran of Green's caliber is just too much. So, I am in full agreement, and I actually think that Green finishes Gibson Jr. What about you?
I agree. I agree. Next up, we've got Kennedy Nchukwu versus Marcus Buchecha. Man, like everything in my body is screaming to pick Kennedy Nchukwu. But I'm going to take Marcus Buchecha. He can't be that bad. I think Martin Buday would beat Kennedy Nchukwu. Did they fight already?
I don't think they have. You can double check, but I would have remembered that.
Yeah, they haven't fought. I think that's a fight that Kennedy Nchukwu would lose. I think Marcus Buchecha is going to get the job done here. What do you think?
By what? Because I
Submission. He's going to get him.
I disagree, and I think Njoku is gonna bring the fire to him, and I think it's a war. So I think he wins by decision.
Interesting. All right, next up, Morgan Charrier versus Melky Costa. It's a pick 'em minus 115 versus minus 115. I know who I'm taking. I'm taking Melky Costa by submission. Who you taking?
I'm taking Costa as well, and I think he'll probably end up winning by submission too. So we are in agreement there.
Next up, we've got Cesar Almeida versus Cesare Olenjacek. This one says the odds are a lot closer than they are. Cesare Olenjacek minus 230. Cesar Almeida plus 178. Big odds. I like Cesar Almeida here, but give me Cesare Olenjacek by decision.
We are in agreement. This is one of those fights too where I think this could be all action, and this might be a bookmark for fight of the night. You never know. So
I agree, but I think this and the next two all have the possibilities to be that.
right.
Because in the co-main event, we've got Giga Chikadze taking on the 16-1 Kevin Vallejos. Who you got?
This is a awesome fight. I like Vallejo's here. I just think his momentum is really, really solid right now. And I think he has a chance to be a breakout star in 2026. So I think he caps off 2025 on the right foot. What about you?
I agree. I think Giga can really give him some problems here. And I think with the betting line, I believe Vallejos is a big favorite. Yeah, minus 320. I think I
Yeah, I
might.
don't.
I'm picking Vallejos, but I think I'm sprinkling on Giga.
Okay.
And then in the main event, we've got Brandon Royval versus Manel Cap. Give me raw dog, Brandon Royval plus 230 to beat the shit out of Manel Cap. Let's go. Gyno Bender's back.
Yeah, I think Royval has been talking a lot of smack, rightfully so. I don't think he thinks that I don't think he thinks that Cop is all that, and he's impressive. But when you talk about a guy in Royval that's been in the mix for years, and Cop is really just sort of fallen into his own within the last maybe a year or so, to me, this is too big of a step up in competition, and also just the lack of 5 round main event experience. I think is going to really play dividends in Royval's favor. So I'm gonna agree with you, and I'm gonna say that Royval wins by decision. Do you think he finishes him, or do you think he wins by decision?
I think he wins by decision.
Okay.
And then
Um, I'm also just curious too because I don't have some of your finishes before we wrap up. So just to just kind of go through, do you like Reyes to finish your Kate, or do you think he wins by decision?
I'm going to go through them real quick. I think that's a decision. I think Blada decision, Pat KO, Santos decision, Asplin KO, Yoroslav decision, Brito finish, uh, Robertson decision, King Green finish, knockout, Buchecha
Okay.
submission, Melky submission, Cesare decision, Vallejos decision, Royval decision.
Well, that rounds out UFC Vegas 112. Before we get out of here, any quick final thoughts as we enter the last UFC event of the year? Anything that you're looking forward to? Maybe that isn't necessarily a fight prediction, but with it just being the last UFC event of the year, what do you want to see out of it to make you say like, oh, I'm happy that I watched it and stuff like that?
I think I think this is just gonna be a fun card, man. Like this is gonna be awesome. I've been happy for the most part with all these cards to end the year. And what do you think? What would you say to the people about this one?
Yeah, just really briefly in the final 30 seconds, or just really briefly on this one. I just think as long as the fights are exciting and as long as the main event delivers, I think that's all that matters. I think the UFC fans need something to munch on, I guess, for the next couple weeks while there's some downtime. But until then, hopefully this card does enough for the appetite, and that means that we're out of time. So this has been another edition of the MMA Outsiders. Thank you to Playback for everything that they've done. This is a great way to go out, and me and Jack will catch you guys very soon on multiple different platforms: YouTube, Kick, Twitch, Twitter, probably, and any other social media that we can find. But until then, have a good one. This has been another edition, and we'll catch you guys very, very soon. Thanks again.